For over a decade, Apple teased the iPad as a computer replacement, and we all know how that went. You got your iPad and it became a secondary device for art, to play games, and maybe a second screen for your Mac. Well, in iPadOS 26, we finally have it. I've challenged myself to just use my iPad as my main work computer for the last week, and I'm impressed. My Mac is no longer my go-to device when I head to the coffee shop. I'm Ashif with Softorino, and today I'm going to show you how your iPad is no longer just a glorified iPhone, it's now a full-blown computer experience. Let's talk about what the iPad used to be. It certainly wasn't a computer. We used apps in full screens, having to switch between apps for the slightest resemblance of multitasking. Then we got split view. Sure, it was nice to have two apps open side by side, but it was nothing like a Mac's workflow. We even got Stage Manager with iOS 18, and even that didn't feel quite right. If you had a Mac, you were definitely reaching for it over the iPad, and this tablet was just an afterthought. With iPadOS 26, everything has changed. You now have windows that are resizable, no longer limited to just left and right. You can now place them anywhere, on top of each other, and they even stay open in the background just like a Mac. With the addition of these three dots at the top, it feels ever closer to a computer experience that we were promised 10 years ago. Fully featured with a menu bar at the top, resembling a Mac's workflow down to the pixel. So let's explore these features. Windows are now fully customizable into any shape you want, but they can also float above each other. There's no limit on how many windows you can have open at one time. Need your Notes app open to write a script while researching on Safari? Open them side by side. Suddenly you want to open your Photos app. Now it stays open on top of your already opened windows. When you swipe to your home screen, your apps no longer just disappear and forget how you place them. They stay active on the sides, and when you open a new app, they come right back just like a Mac. Apple even thought about users who might prefer Stage Manager or just the old way of full screen applications. You can switch modes inside a control center with the flick of a button. Windows, Stage Manager, or just turn it all off. Multitasking goes a lot further with this new update. If you leave an app rendering or updating, it can continue its job in the background. So if you wanted to use the iPad for video editing, you can now have it render in the back while you're using other apps. Video editing and other professional activities is a lot easier with this update, specifically because of this new windowing system. If you didn't know, you were always able to drag items from one application into another. It just felt really clunky having to constantly swipe home while dragging, then opening your another application to drop it into. Now you can just have your Files app open as a window over your other app and drag and drop anything between them. What does it remind you of? A computer. And it's only gonna get better from here. This drag and drop method works between almost any apps, your files, photos, notes, pages, or anything else you can think of. And if you prefer the other methods of moving items between apps, you still have the old school iPad controls. And you even now have a menu bar if you want a more Mac-like experience. So let's quickly take a look at this menu bar. It's just like a Mac. You have the application name at the left side, which gives you quick access to the app settings, then File, Edit, Format, View, Window, and even Help. It's literally just like a Mac, and the items inside of each of these menus also remembers its computer counterpart. Now you can use the iPad in any way you want. The Files app is also getting a quick revamp. It's no longer a cut-down version of the Finder on your Mac. You now have a full-fledged app with different view types, all of the sorting options you need for a quick, organized experience. And you can even drag specific folders from this Files app down to your home screen dock. This dock folder even opens the same as a Mac. Click it and expands to show its contents. And remember dragging and dropping between apps? Now you have quick access to your important folder from any app. No need to constantly open the dedicated Files app. Sticking with new and updated apps, we also have a Preview app. This new Preview app lets you open and edit PDFs and photos. You can mark up with an Apple Pencil, use it to fill out forms, rotate, resize, and even remove backgrounds. Pretty handy since you no longer need to download Adobe PDF Editor for basic tasks you expect to do on your iPad. There is now a dedicated phone app. You no longer need to bust out your iPhone to make a call. Just dial it right from your iPad, and you can even enjoy the new Hold Assist feature that helps you when a business puts you on hold for 30 minutes. And there's also call screening and live translation inside of your phone's app. Live translation is only available on newer iPads, but the old iPads still get a ton of awesome features like live transcription, so you can still read what's being said inside of your phone call. Sticking with communications, our iMessages app has a new update across all of your devices. You can now set custom backgrounds for all your chats, contact posters, polls, and even a new filtering system to get rid of unwanted messages. Let's go over some other changes. If you're a mouse user, iPad now actually has a mouse cursor. Gone is that weird floating vague circle of iPadOS 18. We now have a pointed cursor which also supports right-clicking. All other apps are also getting slight boosts. The Calculator app now can create 3D graphs right on the spot and also solve equations with up to 3 variables. The Photos app also has a slight redesign. You no longer need to scroll all the way down to get to your albums. There's a dedicated toggle to switch between that and the library. Accessibilities is also getting updates, such as Braille support and better motion sickness support, and a more robust visual reading experience. Family support is also getting better at keeping unwanted material off your kids' screens. You can set limits on communication, things like who your child can contact, and safety for those messages. There's even controls for the App Store to keep your kids safe. And of course, everything has a Liquid Glass UI coating over it. Lots of people didn't like Liquid Glass UI in the first beta build, but over the last few updates, Liquid Glass effects are getting more muted to feel less like Windows 7 arrow effects. Personally, I think Liquid Glass UI looks really cool, especially with all these new updates that's muting the effects. You should definitely check out iPadOS 26. It's available on iPad Air 3 and newer. Refer to this bit of info to see if your iPad is capable of running this. If you're watching this video and iPadOS 26 is still in beta and you want to try it out, I recommend you do, but make sure you create a backup of your iPad while it's still on iPadOS 18. And if you choose to downgrade from the beta, we have a video that shows you all the steps. If you found this video helpful, make sure you leave us a like, comment down below what you think of this new computer iPad, and subscribe because we post awesome Apple tips and tricks. Thanks for watching.
Softorino. Tiny apps that make a gigantic difference.